Hey everybody, this is Bo and Low from the 50 somethings. Well, actually just Bo. And actually I've been thinking about doing a video on the Key West 219 FS. You always go on these channels, YouTube channels, and you're looking for owners reviews, owners long-term reviews. Seems like you never actually get a owner's long-term review. Well, I've had my boat now 5 hours, 373 hours on the boat itself. And I was just going to talk about some of the positives and the negatives of the Key West 219 FS. Now, there's like 3 reasons I'm doing this video, possibly 3. 1 is I do want to do a long-term review. 2, I'm doing a comparison in price. Prices have gotten outrageous. I have looked at some of the equivalent boats, both Key West and, you know, the mid-tier same model boats like Edgewater and so forth. And good God, the prices are outrageous, right? So I thought I'd do a quick video on price comparisons and what you get. Obviously, my boat is not stock anymore. I've added a few things like a offshore trolling motor, a custom tackle box, some custom rod holders on both the bow area and on the stern area, a subfloor and a platform up front fishing wise. And I built most of this myself. To include, I cut that hutch step out and put in a sliding cooler. So this whole video is going to be about basically how the boat's held up, what I like about it, what I don't like about it, things I would have done differently, and of course, you know, upkeep of the boat. Like I said, my boat is 5 years old and I don't think it's in that bad a shape. So let's get started. So the boat still sits on the original trailer. I did add a spare tire mount. You always need a spare tire and also some extra hubs. Again, just walking around it, it's ice blue, twin axle. I've replaced the entire brake assembly this past year before I went to Key West. And you know what? It lasted almost 4 years. Well, not bad in salt water, but I rinse my boat down every time I get out of the water, and I wash it when I get home. Here's some of those custom rod holders I mounted on the back. And I went in and mounted them to where I can actually troll with them if I want to. But of course, I don't. I use them more for just bottom fishing to store some of my extra rods. This is my Aft Ice Chest. I think it's in still pretty good shape. I think the whole boat's in pretty good shape actually, but it is mine, so I'm biased. Walk all the way around. I did add a couple bolt-on rod holders up front, and you know, overall, love the boat. I've got forward spotlights. I've got the T-top obviously with the cloth top, and I've got some aft spotlights added to it. They help out a lot late at night. T-bag. Got GoPro mounts all around it. I don't know if you see that, but there's the custom slide out cooler and custom bait tackle box. I'll show you that once I get inside. So this is the exterior. I think the boat's held up fine. It actually travels really well. I have no problem. I'll pull it with my wife's Jeep Gladiator, and I have yet to have a problem. Well, I considered it a problem anyway, of towing that boat, and I even towed it with my 4-door Jeep at one point. So towing wise, it's okay. Trailering, not bad. Overall, I'm pleased with the boat. I will say this, like any good boater 5 years later, I wish I'd have went 4 feet longer. But that's coming up, hopefully. Like I said, I may sell this boat. So let's climb aboard and take a look at what's, you know, I've changed inside the boat. And I will just add real quick, Key West, I have the Linko 12-inch trim tabs. Those things are phenomenal. The bait well, I wished I would have purchased the clear top, and I may still do that. There's my port side storage and starboard side storage, and that's where your battery cables and everything are located. Pretty accessible. So you have seating all the way across the back, and I'll show some photos of the seats installed. Then I got the standard, you know, electronics. I have a 7-inch Garmin 741. Polk audio came with the boat. The Yamaha digital gauges, Linko tabs I mentioned I opted for. I have my VHF radio, and that's pretty much avionics wise all I've done. My wife made me some custom stickers there. I do enjoy that. Front fish boxes, there is the platform I built so that I have a solid fishing platform now, and believe me, that thing comes in handy. And I also added a custom forward cleat in my ankle locker because I have a 72-inch trolling motor, which I'll mention later on. Okay, I'd mentioned that I made some modifications. Here's one of the other modifications I made. I took the front ice chest and made it into a bait well. So whenever I want to fish on the inlet, or if I'm going to fish in the lagoon, I can put my shrimp in there. It works really well. And also, this particular boat has a freshwater, I believe 9 gallons freshwater tank that's located inside of the lower section of the center console. Got lighting inside the center console because it did have a head at one point, and it's got lighting over the center console. And there's the Minn Kota antenna, and of course, like I was mentioning earlier, I've got GoPro antennas mounted all over this thing. I've already mentioned the rod holders I bolted on up front, and I put in a custom floor. Took out the head, which I still have, and did a custom floor because my trolling motor batteries are actually below that, and I'm not going to pull all that out, but I will show you some photos of that. So I built that custom floor also, and there is a custom front piece I put in because I initially had planned on building some more little holders, just hadn't really got around to it. Overall, the boat, I have absolutely no issue with it. I think it's a phenomenal boat. If I did change anything, like I said, if I would change anything, like I said, 5 years later, I would have went 4 feet longer, or at least 2 feet longer. Everybody wants 2 foot more. And also, to be honest with you, I opted with the 150 on this. That was the motor that was on it. I would have gone with the 200 or 250, but mapped out. That little 150 right here actually is putting out just shy of 200 horsepower. I get up on plane quick. The boat would do with me and my wife, with all our gear and everything, 42, 43 miles an hour. Haven't really found that perfect day. However, those are the cons that I wish I'd have got. Now about the boat itself. It fishes awesome. Plenty of room for, I'd say, 4 people. 2 people is just like more than enough. It is a great pleasure boat with all the seats in it and everything. You can get 6 or 8 people in there, no problem. It does load really well. It rides really dry for a 21.5 or 22 foot boat. My buddy has a Contender 32, and yes, of course, it rides better and it is drier. But in comparison, and you know, I'm in 3 foot, 2 foot waves, I'm dry, and I'm up on plane. He's in 3, 4 foot waves, and he's dry up on plane. It does not pound. It has plenty of acceleration. It's a mid-tier boat, so the finishes are pretty decent, but not over the top. It's not like a Contender, don't get me wrong, but I love the boat. Getting long-winded on this video. Let's see, not a lot more I can say about this boat that I haven't already said. It's held up pretty good. Of course, I got a couple rashes on it, no big deal. Not a lot to say. Key West makes a good boat. The 219 FS in the same line as the 239 are their sport family fishing boats. Comfortable, a little bit of you know, style, and a lot of fishability. And if you opt for some of the toys that go with it, like the ski pole and all that, it's a great family boat for skiing and everything. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this video.